Coming up on RMU-Live, Pittsburgh is a finalist for new Amazon headquarters, and a former Hollywood tycoon prepares to make an offer to buy the Pirates. And lastly, Justin Timberlake is set to perform in the Super Bowl halftime show. Hear about all these stories and more coming up.
Welcome to RMU Live. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 2017. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Logan Carney. Here's what's happening now.
9 teenagers were injured in an accident in Westmoreland County Saturday. Police say that a Ford Explorer was the only vehicle involved in an accident Saturday afternoon in Lower Burrell. The vehicle drove off the road at around 2 p.m. and into an embankment where it rolled over. 6 passengers were airlifted to local hospitals. The passengers in the vehicle's ages range from 14 to 17 years old, according to police. Authorities are investigating the accident and have not released if speed or alcohol was a factor in the incident.
It's coming up, and if you're like me and looking to trick or treat, you can do so at these times. Coraopolis Borough will be Thursday, October 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. Moon Township will be Tuesday, October 31st from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And finally, Sewickley Borough will be a little bit longer, and that'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. also on October 31st.
That is one of the things I wish we could still do, Logan. I mean, it's kind of weird if we do it now.
Like I said before, I'm still going to do it.
Hey, that'll be a good old time. A young adult was shot in the stomach in the 300 block of East Pinkway in Homestead just after 9 p.m., according to Homestead Chief of Police Jeffrey Desimone. The victim was transported to a local hospital. Another man was found shot to death under a car overnight Sunday in Homewood's North neighborhood. Police were called just before midnight to the scene, where the man was reportedly under the car and not moving. He was pronounced dead at the scene after being shot in the chest.
2 people were taken to custody after police pursuit late Sunday night. The pursuit went from Allegheny County into Washington County. It was reported shortly before 11 p.m. in Lincoln Borough and ended in North Strayburn Township on Mongaza Road at Curry Avenue. There were no injuries reported.
Pittsburgh is already known for its growing technological partnerships, giving companies like Google and Uber homes here in the city. But the city of Pittsburgh is looking to call another company home. Amazon, the online giant retailer, was accepting applications for a second world headquarters, and Pittsburgh might just have what it takes. The superstructure behind me here is what is left of the old LTV steel and coke ovens here in Hazelwood, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, it doesn't look like much, but what it could be is the second worldwide headquarters of Amazon. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is just one of over 30 cities that have made pitches to the online shopping retailer to have their second worldwide headquarters landed in their city. Other cities making the pitch to Amazon include Birmingham, Alabama, Kansas City, Missouri, Tucson, Arizona, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania's very own Philadelphia. City officials in Pittsburgh are showcasing its last standing steel mill in the Hazelwood neighborhood of Pittsburgh, featuring 145 acres of land that Amazon could build on. Out of all the cities that have decided to make their pitch to Amazon, Pittsburgh is considered in the top 5, and the online retailer will make their decision in early 2018. The city of Pittsburgh is just one of many cities around the country applying for Amazon's second worldwide headquarters. Now, County Executive Rich Fitzgerald did fly to Seattle last weekend to sit down with Amazon's top officials and discuss the plans of this site right behind me. Now, the city of Pittsburgh would benefit tremendously from this. The city says about 50,000 jobs. Reporting from Hazelwood, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media. Amazon is expected to make a decision in early to mid-2018. And Logan, this could mean a lot of jobs, 50,000 jobs for the people here in Pittsburgh.
I mean, it will be a huge boost to the economy if it does end up being Pittsburgh. But there are other cities in the running. We can't forget that.
Absolutely.
5 people were transported to the hospital after a crash in Wilkinsburg early Sunday morning. The crash took place in the 400 block of Penn Avenue at the McDonald's. According to 911 dispatchers, the victim's conditions are unknown at this time.
Police in McKeesport are investigating an accident that took place on the McKeesport-Duquesne Bridge Saturday afternoon. Officials say a van crashed into barrier near the exit ramp of the bridge around 12:30 p.m. The driver was taken to the hospital for head injuries, and his condition is unclear at this point. Crews battled a fire at a duplex in Pittsburgh on Sunday. Investigators said crews were called to the 100 block of Rochelle Street in Knoxville around 7:45. Fire officials stated that there was a woman and her daughter inside at the time of the fire, but both got out safely. No injuries were reported.
A fire that began in a garage moved to a home in Beaver County Saturday night, eventually destroying both. The woman living there escaped the fire with her dog after noticing the smoke and flames. Her husband left just before the fire had started. Fire Chief Jay Graham said the house was destroyed along with the car that was in the garage. Firefighters were only able to save her purse. Another fire broke out in Beaver County on Sunday afternoon on Powell Drive in Hanover Township. What started as a house fire continued onto a nearby hill around 2 p.m. The fire chief described the fire as, quote, huge. People were in the house at the time of the fire but escaped with no report of injury, end quote. It is not clear how the fire started. Arson investigators were called to the scene after fire broke out at a house in Homewood West. The fire was reported just before 3:30 a.m. at a house along Frankstown Avenue near the intersection with Inwood Street. There were no injuries.
A teenager in Duquesne is facing charges of shooting another teenager. 15-year-old Lesra Rice was killed in an alley on October 11th. Authorities report that they believe this shooting was the result of a bad drug deal. Thomas McKissick is being charged by police in the death of Rice after authorities found a Facebook conversation between the two about the meetup on October 11th. McKissick is being charged with criminal homicide, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm by a minor.
Kenny Chesney is a controversial concert that attracts a lot of people and a lot of mess downtown. Chesney announced last week that he will be returning to Pittsburgh. Gage has more on the story.
Pittsburgh concert goers and country music fans alike will be excited to hear that Kenny Chesney will be back in town at Heinz Field on June 2nd, 2018 on his 2018 World Tour, A Trip Around the Sun.
The last time Chesney was in Pittsburgh was in 2016 for his No Shoes Nation tour.
Alongside Chesney in 2018 will be country music stars Thomas Rhett, Old Dominion, and breakthrough artist Brandon Lay.
City officials are working hard to ensure the safety of all guests. Some policies that have changed this year are deciding on when lots will open for tailgating. Pittsburgh police would have discretion in deciding when too many cars have lined up outside to open the lots if there are any traffic hazards. In addition to Pittsburgh police, support will be from the Allegheny County Police, Pennsylvania State Police, and the city's own new horseback police. The City of Pittsburgh Operations Director Guy Costa said in a statement, quote, "To be clear, we want people to come to Pittsburgh and have a good time. We want them to drink responsibly, and we want them to clean up."
The last time Chesney was in town was in 2016 on his No Shoes Nation tour. He played here at Heinz Field. Now, the biggest problem that the city saw was the amount of garbage that was left behind in parking lots, just like the one behind me outside of Heinz Field. Now, Guy Costa, the Director of Operations for the City of Pittsburgh, says he's working with the tour company as well as Alcoa Parking to provide more dumpsters, garbage areas, and bathrooms for fans. Reporting outside of Heinz Field in Pittsburgh's North Shore District, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media.
Logan, hopefully concert goers this year might be a little bit more clean or clean up after themselves. We saw the pictures of the garbage. It was kind of ridiculous.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's a great time, A lot of people that I know go to it, have a lot of fun, but you got to wonder, when is the city going to stop letting them come here if they keep making the city look like that?
And not only does it look like that, the crazy thing is how much does it cost the city alone? They're only responsible for cleaning up all of that. It has to be excessive. And for more updates and coverage around the Pittsburgh area and Robert Morris University, be sure to visit RMUcenturymedia.com. Coming up on RMU Live, the 5 former U.S. presidents are together. Stay tuned to hear more.
And President Trump is releasing information on the John F. Kennedy assassination. Find out why coming up.
On November 3rd in Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University, join me, Don Luisi, for Bringing the Blues to RMU. This is a live event featuring Pittsburgh's Queen of the Blues, Jill West, and Blues Attack. along with a screening of Blues Chronicles from the Burgh, 3 short documentary profiles of Pittsburgh blues legends Eugene Morgan, Bill Weiner, and Jill West. This tribute to the blues is sponsored by the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania, the Academic Media Center, and RMU Radio. That's Bringing the Blues to RMU, Friday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University. Admission is free to the public.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Russia is putting the blame of a bombing in the Syrian city of Raqqa on the United States. The U.S.-led coalition bombed the city after Syrian Democratic forces took over the city in the country's largest oil field. The coalition said in a statement they attempted to reduce the loss of civilian life, but an estimated 1,130 to 1,873 lives have been lost.
Fox News has renewed their contract with Bill O'Reilly after he was accused of sexually harassing former co-worker Liz Wheel. O'Reilly and Wheel worked together for over 15 years, and Wheel often was on O'Reilly's show. The settlement between the two amounted to $32 million. Fox News renewed O'Reilly's contract for $25 million.
The 5 living former U.S. Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, and Jimmy Carter all appeared at a hurricane relief fundraiser in Texas. President Trump was not there in person, but he sent a message in praising their efforts. The fundraiser is backed by One America Appeal and has raised $31 million for hurricane victims to this point. Senator John McCain appeared to take another shot at President Donald Trump in relation to President Trump's comments from the election season in which he criticized John McCain getting captured. Senator McCain said, quote, "One aspect of the conflict, by the way, that I will never, ever countenance is that we drafted the lowest income level of America and the highest income level found a doctor that would say they had a bone spur. That is wrong. That is wrong. If we are going to ask every American to serve, every American should serve." End quote. President Trump has also been criticized by former Presidents Obama and Bush Jr. this week.
President Donald Trump released on Twitter that he supported the release of classified files on the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy. The files, which are scheduled to be declassified on October 26th, consist of 3,000 unseen files. Kennedy was shot and killed in Dallas, Texas in 1936 by Lee Harvey Oswald. That's not right. The sounds of President Trump's tax reform sounds like former President Ronald Reagan's reform during his presidency in the 80s. Trump plans on simplifying the nation's tax code, which he reports tripled in length since Reagan was in office. Plans include removing lopsided international deals and building on the Obamacare reform. Trump also reported that unemployment is at a 16-year low and wages are rising. A new bill is being introduced in Frankfort, Kentucky that could keep people from paying up if they try to save an animal from a hot car. Kentucky State Senator Morgan McGravy is sponsoring the bill, which would expand an existing law that currently allows people to break into a car to save a child without paying for the damages.
Former President Jimmy Carter said that he will travel to North Korea to try and ease the tensions between the U.S. and the Kim Jong-un regime. President Carter said that Trump is not solely to blame on the situation in North Korea as well. He has traveled to North Korea 3 times to negotiate deals since leaving office. Those 3 times were in 1994, 2010, which was followed by 2011. A Massachusetts police officer who was already on paid leave for leaving his handgun in a restaurant bathroom has now been arrested for drunk driving. 46-year-old Christopher Callies crashed his pickup truck into a utility pole. That was after he was put on paid leave back in 2016 when a 10-year-old and his dad found his handgun. He is a 20-year veteran of the force.
The sentencing for a former United States Army sergeant who pleaded guilty to endangering his comrades after abandoning his post in 2009 in Afghanistan started today. Bowie Bergdahl is facing life in prison for abandoning his post in the war zone, but his fate will end up to a military court judge at Fort Bragg. An Indonesian military chief was barred entry to the United States on Saturday night. General Gatot Numerto was traveling with his wife to Washington when the U.S. officials denied his ability to fly. The general was invited to the U.S. by Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford, for an anti-terrorism conference. The order was given by the U.S. Custom and Borders Protection.
The Cliffside School District says that 37 students will be serving detentions on Saturday. This is after the walkout protest of a teacher who told her students to, quote, speak American, end quote. The teacher said, more specifically, men and women are fighting. They are not fighting for your right to speak Spanish. They are fighting for your right to speak American. The teacher has not been punished. A couple from Orlando recently received an Amazon order of plastic storage bins. But inside of those containers was 65 pounds of marijuana. For about a month, the couple went back and forth with Amazon about the issue before finally they received an email that said the company could not do anything about the situation and received a $150 gift card to the website. Now, Gage, we were talking about Amazon headquarters coming here. After hearing that story, maybe it won't be such a great idea.
I'm honestly, that's an appalling story. You wonder, how do things like that even happen in today's world?
You could find out more about stuff that happens if you're interested in watching more RMU-TV, because we're going to be talking about that. Be sure to check out the whole show lineup for the rest of the week. Coming up on RMU-Live, we will take a look at the Steelers game yesterday.
And a racist video ends a football season for a middle school.
Emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you!
She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand!
Ah, there you go. Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Want to help in the aftermath of a hurricane? Together, you and I can really help. I am fast and versatile. I can be whatever is needed. To help you provide important relief when it's most critical. If you want to lend a hand, I can help you reach out and truly touch lives. Even a small donation can make a big difference.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Tonight, along the Texas Gulf Coast, utter devastation. Harvey barreled ashore overnight, packing 130-mile-an-hour winds, blinding sheets of rain, and a treacherous storm surge.
Harvey can't mess with Texas. So donate now to help make Texas whole again.
Hello, welcome back to RMU-Live. Today's weather is 64 degrees with a high of 65 and a low of 49, and there's a chance for evening showers tonight, so make sure you grab your umbrella and your raincoat before you head out. As it is outside, it's pretty cloudy. The sun hasn't been out too much, so it's a perfect fall weather day. And for tomorrow, we could expect 59 degrees, a low of 40, and humidity of 67%, which is pretty much what it was today. And then for the rest of the week, we can expect temperatures to be in the high 50s, low 60s, and high 40s, with chances of rain Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then partly cloudy on Thursday and Friday. Back to you, Logan.
Thanks, Morgan. Now it's time for what's going on in the worldwide of sports. The Houston Astros defeated the New York Yankees on Saturday by a score of 4-0. This win sends Houston to their second World Series in franchise history. The other one was in 2005 when they were swept by the Chicago White Sox. Former Pirates starter Charlie Morton pitched 5 innings of shutout ball in that game. The Astros will be taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow night at 8:09 p.m. In a rivalry, moving on to football, that Cincinnati fans view as one of the best in football and that we here in Pittsburgh view as, The Pittsburgh Steelers took on the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. The first half was close and ended 14-14. It was then that the Steelers took off and kicked 5 field goals to make the score 29-14. That would end up being the final score. Vontaze Burfict was up to his old Looney Tunes self as he kicked fullback Roosevelt Nix in the head just 1 minute into the game. This prompted Le'Veon Bell to tweet out, quote, "Man, dude, gotta go, man. That's not football at all," end quote. He then followed up with, quote, "It's unbelievable the league is just condoning this activity. But if Rosie reacts, Rosie will be the one that would get into trouble," end quote. The league is not full of people like Burfict, however, as Philadelphia Eagles defensive end Chris Long announced that he will be donating the rest of his salary to help school districts in Charlottesville and promote education equality. This has been an issue that former Walter Payton Man of the Year has been fighting for his entire career. The Pittsburgh Penguins got blown out by the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 7-1 on Saturday. Antti Niemi was in the net for the Pens and is now 0-3 with a 7.49 goals against average and 7.97 save percentage this season. However, that game was not the biggest story to come out of this weekend for the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions as they traded Scott Wilson and a third-round pick to the Detroit Red Wings for veteran center Riley Shannon and a fifth-round pick. The Penguins are hoping that he bounces back after a disappointing season in which he only scored 2 goals on the year. Robert Morris took on Sacred Heart in football on Saturday in a game that they needed to win to have any shot at winning the NEC. Well, the game ended up being an interesting one to say the least. Sacred Heart moved down the field early before Robert Morris blocked the field goal. Things were looking up for RMU after that as they jumped up to a 6-0 lead. In the second half, Sacred Heart would jump to a 7-6 lead before Harrison Dreyer would then take the following kick back into the end zone, and Robert Morris would convert the 2-point conversion to make it 14-7. Sacred Heart would then tie it up, and they'll follow that by intercepting a pass thrown by Jimmy Walker and taken into the end zone for the game-winning score. The final score was 21-14. The Pitt Panthers, Penn State Nittany Lions, and West Virginia Mountaineers also won this past week as well. Bob Nutting has been unpopular, to say the least, among Pirate fans. He has expressed his intention to keep the team and his family for generations, but someone is going to try and change his mind. Gage has more on that story.
Pittsburgh Pirates majority owner Bob Nutting has made it very clear on different occasions that he has no interest in selling the Major League Baseball team. Part owner and minority shareholder in the Pittsburgh Steelers, Thomas Tull, is prepared to make him an offer that he can't resist.
Thomas Tull, the executive Hollywood producer that made movies such as The Dark Knight and The Hangover, is interested in purchasing the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates are currently owned by newspaper publishing mogul Bob Nutting. Nutting also owns nearby Seven Springs Mountain Resort, Hidden Valley Resort, and Laurel Mountain Resort.
The Hollywood veteran executive movie producer has made his interest in Pittsburgh sports. In 2009, he bought into the Pittsburgh Steelers. In February, he just purchased a $15 million home in Edgewood, and his multi-million-dollar downtown apartment is now for sale.
Earlier this year, Tull reportedly sold his global entertainment company Legendary for $3.5 billion. Sports website fanrag.com reports that Tull is willing to offer on the upside of $1 billion.
5 years ago, Tull tried to buy the San Diego Padres but was unsuccessful. Now, he hasn't made an actual offer to the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's all speculation at this point. Whether he does or not, we'll see what the Nutting family has to say. Reporting from PNC Park in Pittsburgh's North Shore, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media.
And when we come back from the break, we'll tell you who has the Super Bowl halftime show.
And a bunch of veggies got recalled. You'll find out why.
On November 3rd in Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University, join me, Don Luisi, for Bringing the Blues to RMU. This is a live event featuring Pittsburgh's Queen of the Blues, Jill West, and Blues Attack. Along with a screening of Blues Chronicles from the Burgh, 3 short documentary profiles of Pittsburgh blues legends Eugene Morgan, Bill Weiner, and Jill West. This tribute to the blues is sponsored by the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania, the Academic Media Center, and RMU Radio. That's Bringing the Blues to RMU, Friday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University. Admission is free to the public.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, that can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
A middle school football team in Virginia decided to end their season early in light of a racially fueled sex video that aired on Snapchat. The Short Pump middle school football team ended their season with 3 weeks remaining after a video surfaced of white team members performing sexual acts on black team members. The Henrico County School Board made the decision to cancel the season as well as investigate the incident. Players will be required to attend mandatory information sessions on racial intolerance, ethics, and decision-making in lieu of practices.
More than 20 brands of minimally processed vegetables were taken off the shelves after a recall. These vegetables may be contaminated with Listeria monocytogenes, an organism that can cause infections in young children, the elderly, and others with weakened immune systems. Public health officials have not reported any illnesses associated with these products. The vegetables recalled had dates of October 11th to the 20th. Consumers should discard any of the recalled vegetables.
Pop superstar Justin Timberlake is set for one of the biggest performances of his career. Timberlake was announced as the 2018 Super Bowl halftime show. His appearance was announced last night before Sunday Night Football. This will be Timberlake's second appearance at the Super Bowl following his 2004 guest appearance with Janet Jackson. You know, Logan, this is the best time that, okay, and that's all we have for RMU Live today. Thank you for watching.
Be sure